people, welcome back to another Fwoosh review. Tonight I'm taking a look at the Bandai S.H. Figuarts Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Leonardo. That's a mouthful. No packaging shots because I had to ditch that at Comic-Con. I had to stuff all my figures and all my clothes into a small backpack. You can imagine it's the standard Figuarts box. It's got, you know, the window on the front and the pretty pictures on the back. Now I was able to get this at San Diego Comic-Con at the Bluefin booth. It was a huge surprise that they were selling it. I got it, even though I have one on pre-order. I had to have it now. And I'm glad I did, because as many figures as I did get at Comic-Con, this is the highlight for me. As you can see, the sculpt work, pretty damn cartoon accurate. There may be a few things here and there, but for the most part, I think this is the most cartoon accurate figures that we've gotten so far. And I have to apologize, I'm working with a temporary camera right now. It's not the greatest. I'm at learning curve and I'm way behind it. So the colors may be off a little bit, it may be a little bit grainy, but for the most part, just believe me, this figure kicks ass in person. Now I'm gonna go over the articulation first because really, to get that out of the way and to show how awesome this is. The head is on a ball on the top and at the bottom of the neck, so you get a lot of range of movement. You get some side to side, you get a lot of down. He can look straight down. Back, not so much because it hits the shell right there, and just the shape of the head, the shape of the shell, it just hits right there. You can shift forward a little bit and kind of work it under, but that's about as far up as he can get. Tilt. The shoulders are actually butterfly forward and back and up and down, all just crammed into one tiny spot. Butterfly forward, pretty good range of movement there, back in, and then it shifts up, down. This is shifted all the way down, this is shifted all the way up, so you get a pretty good range of movement there. Hinge and swivel at the shoulders, hinges out, then it swivels around. Swivel at the bicep, double elbow gets about right there. This elbow piece is a separate piece, so it kind of pinches right there, but still, that's an impressive range of movement. Standard Figuarts wrists, swivel at the top and bottom with a ball in the middle, so you can set it to go up and down or side to side, either or, and then you have a swivel. The torso, there's some kind of magic going on under there. I don't know, it's hard to see. It looks like there's a joint right here, and then at the waist under the belt, but there's not any forward and back, but there is some shift side to side, so you can tilt. And the big question on everybody's mind was, how soft is this shell? It's pretty soft. You can pull it down, you can see his pecs. That kind of freaks me out. Then soft down here too, you can lift it up. The hips have a shift down, you can bring it down a little bit. You can get forward, and because of the soft shell, it doesn't really get in the way. What gets in the way more is the shape of the crotch right there. See how it V's out? So whenever you bring the leg up, it rotates out a little bit. You can get out, you can get back. There is a swivel there. Double knees, pretty good range of movement, not all the way back, but again, knee pad gets in the way right there. But I do like that this piece goes way up into the upper leg and it doesn't break the line whenever you do crank the leg back. The ankle has a piece like we usually see in the shoulders, a cap that kind of comes down and hides the articulation. But when you bring the ankle down, it kind of shifts that piece up. But when it's down, it comes down, covers the articulation pretty well. You get back that far, forward this far, then you have some ankle rotation at the ball right there, and then you have a swivel too, and then toe joint comes up about right there. Now, one of the oddest features for me is the die cast metal in the lower legs. The feet, the shins, the actual ball joint going into the foot. The only Figuarts I've ever done is Star Wars and then a couple Marvel pieces, so I've never seen die cast in a figure, so I didn't really know what to expect. But when I got this out of the package, the heft is kind of surprising, but after a few posing, a few minutes of messing with it, it feels natural. So a center of gravity is pretty awesome for an action figure. Pretty much when you stand him up, you put him down, he's gonna stand. Pose around, you put him down, he stands. Lean him back, lean him forward. Getting him up on one leg to do a kick is surprisingly easy. You would think the weight shifts off to his leg up here, but it's not bad. It's a little bit easier than most figures. To top all that off, even though there's die cast down in the lower legs, you couldn't tell just by looking at it. The paint on the outside, I don't know if the plastic's painted too, or if it's cast in this color, but the shades of green between the upper leg and the lower leg, you can't see it. It's the same shade. Now, he does come with an alternate head sculpt. It's more of an angry head, whereas the head on here, it's kind of docile, thinking, kind of planning ahead, but it's just him sitting around the lair, chilling out. This one is more fighting, more angry. He's got the furrowed brow. He's got the teeth showing. Now, to switch it out, you have to pull off the back of the bandana. This piece right here, I can see why they did it, but man, this pops off easy when you're going around posing. It's not a bad thing, but it's something to watch out for. If you're getting crazy with it, pull this out. Put it back in once you're done with whatever you're doing. The head pops off easy. This head goes on. There's no rotation to this. It goes in one way, and that's hanging down. For hands, he comes with the open hands where he can really grip his weapons closed off. The weapons fit in perfect, tight, nice. And then he comes with a pair of open hands. This is more fighting stance or, you know, just posing in general. He comes with a pair of fists. And then he comes with a pair of kind of open hands, but more gripping. You can put the swords in here, but it doesn't work as well as the hands made specifically for the swords. But he also comes with a manhole cover, and the gripping hands work really well on this. He can hold it up, he can hold it in one hand, he can hold it in both hands. This is sculpted on the letters and this little pattern here, and then on the back side it's just it in reverse. And then of course he has his swords, his katana, whatever you want to call them. They seem a little bit small and thin, but it works for this figure. There's detailing on the grip. It's kind of a wrapped look, and then the silver paint is really nice. It's more of a silver than a gray. And going in his hands, the texture on the handle works really well. And then the final accessory is his replacement back belt, where you can either have no sheaths or the sheaths for the swords if you want to hold those back there. This piece is nicely painted. It matches the rest of the belt here. But it's kind of hard to get out. You got to kind of get under it and then pull, and it has 3 pegs right there. The sheaths go on, and it's almost a lighter brown. When you look at it, you'll notice, oh, well, there's 2 different browns there. My biggest problem, and probably my only real gripe with this figure, are the swords going into the sheaths. It's just a loose hole where the swords slide down. It slides out, it falls out. I guess it's not a huge deal. It's just odd that it's like that. For the most part though, I'm not going to use this. This figure is awesome. It's got the articulation. He's always going to be posed in an action pose. He can stay just like this, and that looks really good. Height-wise, here he is next to the standard, you know, 6 foot something figure from Marvel Legends. Shortness really works for me here. And then next to the Playmates original cartoon figure. I didn't remember until I pulled him off the shelf how cumbersome the Playmates figure is. But if you really wanted to, you could use them with the Playmates Rocksteady and Bebop from the classic collection. It kind of works here. They're a little bit bigger. I would like to see bigger than this, which hopefully Figuarts will get to. Oh, that'd be awesome. So at the end of the day, to say I love this figure is an understatement. Just everything about it. It's fun to play with, it's fun to pose, it's fun to look at. I cannot say enough good things about this figure. Now the only drawback is that sheath thing, but again, I'll be posing him in action poses all the time. He'll always be holding his swords, so no problem there, at least in my book. The biggest downfall here is I gotta wait for the rest of them. Leo and Donnie, they come out next month or here shortly. And then Michelangelo and Raphael were supposed to come out in November, I believe. But when we were in the Bluefin booth, you know, just standing in line for the longest time to buy these, it did say that either Raph was going to be in November and Michelangelo in December, or vice versa. They were split up now, which kind of sucks because my pre-order is for both of them at the same time. It's already paid for. Even if Raph comes out before Mikey, I'll have to wait for Mikey. Oh, first world problems. But yeah, do yourself a favor. If you're a Turtles fan, break down. Get this figure. At least one. You deserve it. This is the one you've been waiting for. They showed a Shredder at San Diego Comic-Con that looks amazing. He was all crunched down, you couldn't see a lot, but he did look good. And whatever diecast they're going to use in that is either going to be dangerous or going to be awesome. Or both. Probably both. So I'm going to stop rambling right there. All I can say is just do it. You'll be happy. I swear. That's all I can say. So if you like the review, comment, like, subscribe. I'll catch you on the Fwoosh. Yes, it is a little bit fiddly, which we'll get to in a minute, but overall, I feel like this is, like I say about a bunch of the Figuarts, a shrunk down version of the character. The costume's kind of smooth in the blue parts. I thought there would be kind of a texture, but that's going by my own perception. I didn't look at steels, I didn't go back and make sure there was texture on the costume,